Hello, Cyber Warriors. For English Tech Talk series, today we are going to have some insights from Caitlin. And let me give a small introduction to Caitlin. And 2010, she started as a treasurer, and then later on, she worked with the multiple designation of intern, and then she's a OEM embedded power engineering intern, and then she's a student ambassador at University of Southern California. Then she was a manager of cybersecurity and senior manager data protection, privacy and security, and then privacy and cybersecurity director, and then global lead cybersecurity advocacy and culture, and founder and executive director. So as of now, so currently 2025, she's a founder and executive director. So it's been like 15 years of experience Caitlin has, and welcome and thanks for our podcast, Caitlin. I'll just give a small introduction about the Cyber Voyage. So, Cyber Voyage is a cyber security education channel. So, we started 2021. So, it's been 3.5 years. So far, we do have a 450K cyber security warriors, we always say. And whatever the questions here I ask, I get it from our cyber warriors. So, we get questions from them and we'll get insights from the expert. So, that's what the podcast it works. And thanks and welcome, Caitlin, for our podcast. And it's the first question I usually ask with everyone. It's been like 15 years in cybersecurity domain, and you've started as an intern. How did you got interest to get into cybersecurity? Because you worked in a TikTok, you worked in a manager in EY. So how did you got interest to get into a cybersecurity domain? So how did you started to get into this domain, Caitlin?
Yeah, well, actually, so the internships were not in cyber at all. I did aerospace mechanical engineering, and so that's what I did. So all my internships were either aerospace or mechanical, some type of engineering degree, not computer science at all. I didn't know what cybersecurity was when I was interning or interviewing, and someone had asked me if I'd be interested. I was applying to technology consulting roles, and again, no idea. I thought it was just coding, but I was very intrigued. I knew that it was going to be a big thing, 10 plus years down the line. So I figured I'd try it, and I learned everything on the job. And again, I had the wrong idea of what cybersecurity was at the beginning, most as many do. And that's one of the reasons why I started my channel, was to educate people on like, what does it even mean to be in cybersecurity, and what kind of skills do you need, and what type of person do you have to be, and do you need to know how to code. So that was kind of my journey, but literally had no idea how or what cybersecurity was maybe 12 years ago.
Thanks, Caitlin. So you told you belongs to aerospace, and then you just moved to a cybersecurity domain, and we were looked at your videos. I was looking at your videos, and it was very good. And so far, like LinkedIn, you have 145K followers, and then so far, like all over this across social media, you have like 1.5 million followers, and all the videos, it is it every layman can understand that. Now, the follow up question on your cybersecurity channel: if you are creating a cybersecurity series or cybersecurity training, or if it is a Netflix series, what would be the title that you will give, and what would be the episode name that you will give, Caitlin?
Oh, I don't know. I'm pitching for a Netflix show, so I can't really spill that, but I think it's just cybersecurity is for everyone. And it just will go through, all the stuff on how everyday people should be able to protect themselves online. Because ultimately, cybersecurity, I feel like it's a scary name for what we really do. And it's protecting people and protecting yourself and your loved ones from, the bad guys. So, and it's not that difficult. I think there's a huge stigma around it. So, me, it'd be for everyone. But yeah, there's so many ways you can go about it.
Thanks, Caitlin. So the topic which you'll give is cyber security for everyone, and thanks for your the title, Caitlin. Now, for a layman, let's say we can split up three age categories, like 10 to 20, and 20 to 30, and 30 plus above, and then 40. Like we can category 40 plus. And how and what you think these categories, people and teenagers, or these senior citizens, will fall into a cyber security tricky aspect? So which one you feel, and which one the inputs which you have seen, because you have worked in TikTok, and you could have seen multiple case studies as well. So which one you believe for age categories they fall these kind of attacks, cyber attacks, and they need to make sure to protect from these attacks, Caitlin?
Yeah, so I think it depends on what type of cyber attacks, right? But a lot of people actually think that like the older people are the ones falling for scams, and they do. And I'm in a lot of groups that try to fix that. But actually, there's more people, more younger people that actually fall for scams because we grew up with with it, and we were inherently trustworthy of people online. And so it depends on one, the type of scam. There's a lot more younger people that get scammed, but they're smaller scams. But the older people, they're bigger scams. So it just depends on the type of scam and like what you're actually, categorizing it as. But to me, I think, or I really want to help the younger generation. Obviously, I know that there's like the elder generation that are getting, bigger scams, but there's so many kids nowadays that are getting scammed online in every way, right? There's extortion, there's phishing, there account takeovers. So it really depends on like which scam we're talking about.
Thanks, Caitlin. So you just give a nice point. So one thing is, most of the myths like 40 plus people, 35 plus people are get into a scam because after they retired or after they saved all these money, and when they are in home they get scammed. But apart from that, even nowadays, people who is technically strong and people, even the teenagers who is very well equipped with the technology, and of course they will build, they get into a scam. So that was a nice point, Caitlin. And other points also you mentioned, even sextortion and even the phishing and wishing, and even multiple attack scenarios or cyber attacks. Even the younger generations are get to their the point of contact. Maybe we can say they'll get to connect with other persons, and the cyber criminals, they are reaching out to them, and they'll be downloading a games, they'll be downloading a music, and they'll go to the third party. So even younger generations are the target. So it was a good point, Caitlin, and thanks for your insights, Caitlin. Now the other question is, because you worked in a campaign, cybersecurity, social campaign, awareness campaign. So now, my question is, if you have a budget for 24 hours campaign, then which topic you would prefer for a campaign, a cybersecurity awareness campaign, Caitlin? Like within
Oh,
24 hours, you have to prepare a campaign, and you get some budget, or else unlimited budget. You get a budget, and within 24 hours for a corporate, you have to create a cybersecurity campaign, and which topic you prefer, and which campaign you will prefer, and which thing you will take it forward.
yeah. I don't. I fully don't know that answer. I think there's so many things that need to be tackled, but I think at the bottom line is at the end of the day, cybersecurity is not difficult. And so maybe it'd be a campaign around how easy, like again, two simple things that you can do to protect yourself. And it'd be getting, people all around the world to show those easy things. So it wouldn't just be with cyber creators, but it would be, everyday creators, like the people that everyone watches. Because again, it's simple and it's for everyone. It's not that difficult to be safe, at your house, and protect your kids. So that's probably what it would be.
Thanks, Caitlin. Now, the other follow-up question, and everyone has watched escape room movies. I'm pretty sure they have watched escape room movies, and each level, level 1, level 2, level 3. And now, if you could design an escape room, you get an opportunity to design an escape room, and how do you create an escape room? What level that you will keep? Like, let's say for a cyber security, like as a layman, so I've got an opportunity to work with the or else play a escape room categories where your corporate or your company or that you are going to conduct, and you have 10 levels. And as a layman, I'm going to play that game, and what kind of levels that you will be designing, Caitlin, and what kind of level that a layman can play, and whether it could be any kind of cyber attacks, or it could be any kind of cyber programs, or it could be cyber awareness, or it could be any kind of exploitation. So, what kind of levels that you will be preferring, and you will be creating if you are creating an escape room challenge, Caitlin?
Um, So I've done many like cybersecurity escape rooms, but they're really technical. So I guess it just depends on the audience that you want to have in that escape room. To me, I would just do basic stuff that like it would, you'd have clever scripts, but you just do basic things.
Yeah, so that's what the question. The audience are from senior citizens. It could be juniors. It could be anywhere. So now, what kind of levels that you will be giving, like let's say the basic steps, in the sense like what kind of basics that you will be giving, like whether it is like any kind of phishing emails, or first level you have to click this email and you will be receiving an email. So in LED screen you will be receiving an email, so and based on that, if it is a phishing or not, so that the next level will be passed. And level 2 likewise, what kind of level that you will be preferring as a general audience or as a layman, any person, not a technical. So anyways, as a layman, because they don't understand what is vulnerability, even they don't understand what is exploit, even they don't understand what is Kali, burp suit, or GRC complaints. Apart from this, as a basic, so if any persons comes in, of course they know this word and which kind of level that you will be taking it forward, Caitlin.
So I'm not understanding your question. Are you just asking what level? Like I would take it at like the most basic level. Like
Okay.
I would that
Okay.
there I think that's where a lot of people get mixed up is cybersecurity to me is not for corporate and it's not for super technical people. It's for everyone. And so any question they're going to ask me, I probably will go back to the general public and being safe and how that works in their life. And the escape room would literally be like normal stuff that people do every day. Turning on your smart home, whatever Nest and all of that stuff, and it would make it seem more relatable to what everyone does every day and how they can protect themselves.
Thanks, Caitlin. So based on your answers, we could feel that maybe the first level person, you in LED screen, you could have seen an email. You could have seen an email whether you have to say this phishing email or not based on the from email ID to email ID based on the domains. So level one maybe we can keep. And second one, and the person who requests for an OTP password. So do you have an MFA authentication? So what kind of MFA authentication is there? So anyways, the application they do have. So yes or no, at that kind of questions. And then you mentioned depends on the audience as well, and turn on cameras that change the default passwords. So most of the routers you might be having level 4, you have the router, you have the admin password, do you want to change or not? And of course senior citizens say no, I don't want to change it, and I need the admin password alone because I cannot remember those passwords in my future. And if it is a teenagers and few persons, they will change. So I thanks for your input, Caitlin. So based on your input, like it's a basic stuff. So basic depends on the audience, and that will take it forward. And like the basic things, even it could be the technological stuffs and non-technical stuffs as well. Now uh, we would like to create a creative cybersecurity. So if you are creating a creative cybersecurity awareness, let's say you are going to create a training and you have ever seen, so because so far it's been like a few years you are in cybersecurity, right? So you could have seen some creative way of approach or creative way of design on the cybersecurity training. So did you see any kind of creative approach that because it might inspired you? If you see the training itself, it could have inspired you. Is there any other creative design that you have seen so far, Caitlin?
Any creators that inspire me,
Any the cyber security design campaigns, or we can say cyber security design trainings, we can say.
um, like for the public or for like
Yeah, for the
specifics.
public. For the public. So because in LinkedIn or any other social medias, you could have seen some kind of trainings, right? So which cyber security training exercise you have something has inspired you?
I don't see a lot of cybersecurity public education. I see more high level. The U.S. had a really good Secure Our World campaign, and they made it a little bit more fun. But to be honest, there's so many resources out there. Like a lot of companies are trying, but they're, in my opinion, doing it the wrong way, and it's not reaching the people that they need to reach, and it's not being shared with who it needs to be shared. And I feel like I just bridge that gap, and then also make it a little bit more simple. So I haven't really been like fully inspired. I do appreciate some of the campaigns, but I don't think they're not anything I'd write home about, which means like I don't get like that excited. The Secure Our World campaign was probably the best one just because it's a catchy one, but it didn't really go very far.
Thanks, Caitlin. So you're given a very good point as well, Caitlin, because when we look at cybersecurity trainings or resources in internet, it will be more technical. So non-technical person, they may not aware of it, and even it is very high level as well. So based on your inputs, and that's where you are pushing more cybersecurity awareness in a layman perspective. So and thanks for that input as well, Caitlin. Now, because in a corporate there could be lots of cybersecurity training. So not only in a corporate, even for a layman as well, in some government has initiated a cybersecurity initiatives. But not all the initiatives are the successful one. So did you ever see this initiative has been created or developed by a government or any private sectors, but it become a failure one? Did you ever seen such kind of cybersecurity initiative that the government or any sectors has been created, but it becomes a failure one? What did you learn from it, Caitlin?
Uh, I think it depends on your definition of failure. Like I said, the government initiative, the one that we just talked about, was a government initiative by our cybersecurity infrastructure services of America. I, if you talk about if people are talking about it, I think it was a failure. If you're talking about the actual content of it, I think it had the right idea, but I don't know what your definition of failure is. I think there's a lot of I know that there's the government spends a lot of money on securing and protecting people. I just don't know where it goes. So in that sense, I think it's a failure. Certain ones, but I don't have like a specific one off my head, and it also depends on what your definition of failure is. And I think it's like we're trying to get the same message across, right? And it's to protect people. And I think overall we've been failing at that because it's not been consistent.
So actually, the failure which I meant, Caitlin. So let's say a few campaigns should reach to laymen, but it has not been reached to them. So failure in the sense which means the reachability, the impressions, the maximize audience. It has not been reached to the respective audience because few training they have created.
Campaign.
Yeah, yeah. Is
I
there
don't
any
know.
campaign that you have seen?
No, except for my videos sometimes that go viral. But honestly, I don't know one campaign that really went that far. But I could be misspoken. I mean, I'd love for people to comment in the chat with what I'm missing, but I haven't seen ones that are really like going viral and staying there.
Sure, Caitlin. And if you be in a corporate or if you are creating a gamified environment for a layman, so what kind of gamified environment that you will prefer, you will choose, or you will create, Caitlin? Because since you have multiple videos for a layman perspective, right? So what kind of gamified environment that you can create, Caitlin? Let's say, is there any game that you can create for a layman? Any kind of environment that you can create from your end if you are trying for initiatives or anything like that, Caitlin?
Yeah, I'm in the process of doing it, so there's only so much I can say. But I think if you do like a Duolingo, but for cybersecurity or tech, that's like what we're trying to do.
Thanks, Caitlin. So thanks for your input. And you get a chance. Sometimes, let's say you are going to get a chance to create a cybersecurity awareness, not for the layman, but for a corporate or for an organization. But even in organization, not everyone are technically strong. So in that scenario, how do you choose or how do you teach a cybersecurity habit? Because there will be some kind of a like habituated but cybersecurity habit. Which one you prefer for a corporate employees or corporate organization, and which one you will take it forward, or which one you will be saying to them this habit needs to follow and regularly we used to have, like cyber hygiene we can mention. Like what kind of cyber hygiene that you will prefer to be a corporate people? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, habits to me are when someone consistently does it every day, again, similar to Duolingo. And so the only way to do that is making it more fun or making them so relatable that they want to keep coming back.
Sure. Okay. And now the other question, because now AI, deepfake, steganographies, there are many cyber attacks is going to come, and there are which is happening now. What could be the input that you can give to the younger generation? Let's say I'm just growing, like a kid is growing from 0 and 5 and 10 or 8 or 12, 13. When the guy or a girl comes to the teenage, they don't have in their mind the acceptance, because they scare about negative comments online which they are posting. Let's say if the photo, if they are posting a pic, but if they get a negative comments, of course they'll get depressed. And at the same time, if they are posting a video or if they are posting an image and it can be morphed by some other third party or some other website, and again the person who posted, if the age is below 19, sometimes or not sometimes, based on the survey, they get depressed easily and quickly. And for such a scenario, how to evolve this, and what is the inputs, or what would be your inputs to all these younger generation, to tell them or to guide them, to inspire them? You should not see, because those are all not real. Because if someone comments if someone do a negative comment, those are all not real. But what would be the best five inputs that you can give to all these generation? Because when we go to 30 plus, or when we go to 25 plus, we got some experience, and then based on negative comments, we don't see it, we will just leave it, and then we will concentrate on other things. But for a teenage, when they are growing, they'll be in a room, and they'll use mobile phones, and then when they post a video, they get a comment, they get a reshare, and they'll be going to come some friends, and friends will be sharing some kind of negative comments. In that situation, they'll get depressed, and they'll some kind of scenarios, they do suicide as well. For all these kind of things, what would be the best input that you can give to them? What is the best impact that you can create on them, where if you are giving some kind of cybersecurity awareness to evolve and to make sure to prevent themselves from these kind of thing, what do you suggest, Caitlin?
Yeah. First of all, what they're feeling is makes sense. And when I started this journey, the only reason why I started was and it depends on what type of content you make, right? So this might not apply to everyone, but for me, it was education. So I told myself, I don't care what I do as long as I'm providing value and I can help at least one person. I just want to help one person. That is what every video is made for me. And so when I get hate comments, and one of my first viral videos, I got a ton of hate comments. I was so tempted to take it down, but it was still providing value for other people because the hate comments was, I said, I missaid a word, right? Like I mispronounced a word. Um, but if you can tell yourself and you know in your heart that this is a good piece of content, it's not, making fun of anyone. It's providing value to at least one person. All you need is to help one person. Then I don't care what other people say. Like, if at all. Like, I'm just trying to help one person protect themselves or learn about something new or whatever it is. But if your content provides value for one person, I would say ignore as much as it's hard. I don't even read the comments anymore. The only time I start looking at comments is if I'm trying to, respond to people. If I see that there's like a ton of questions coming in. I rarely look at comments, and I really, really strongly suggest that people do the same because you're not going to be everyone's favorite, and that's fine. I don't want to be everyone's favorite. I don't want to be everyone's favorite. I know that there's people in the world that I wouldn't want to hang out with either. So let them talk. But for me, I'm like, as long as they provide value, I could care less what everyone else says.
Thanks, Caitlin. So you just gave a very neat statement. You're not going to be the everyone's favorite. So the content which you make, and the content which whatever the thing that you are making, you are giving a quality, and that reaches to a people which is required. There are lots of people that will take it forward, and if someone is not going to take it forward, and we don't want to bother about them, so that's why you again mentioned, ignore them. So if you want to do something, just go ahead and do it. And if you want to follow, if you want to give a quality content, of course you are not the best one, you are not going to be the everyone's favorite, and of course they will take it forward. There will be few audience, of course they like you. So just work with them, and just work for them, and then you will learn something. So based on your inputs, we have got all these information, Caitlin. And what is the secret sauce behind your followers? So far 1.5 million followers you have. What could be the secret sauce? So, like, of course they like something from your content, and it's been like couple of years you are posting a content. And what content? Because the previous discussion you mentioned, when you post a video, you get it become viral. And did you ever observe what kind of videos is getting viral, and what kind of videos? Because you post multiple topics, few times cyber awareness, few times cyber hygiene, but all these videos, some cases, few videos are viral. And did you ever seen what your audience are expect, what topic that your audience are expected, and which what it could be the secret sauce on your content as well, Caitlin? So what would be that, Caitlin?
Yeah. So there's a few, like one, you have to have a good hook. It has to be relatable. Like people have to feel like they need to hear it. And then the next is actually provide them actionable stuff, right? So there's so much information online and we hear so much, but until they start doing it themselves and seeing it themselves, they don't really understand the impact. And so most of my viral videos are like a hook that makes it relevant, and then showing them, hey, you can do this too. Look at this, and then giving them like an actual call to action of like, do this now. So it's not just like, you know, hooking them in and telling them there's a problem. It's hooking them in, showing them there's a problem, and then showing them how to fix it and how it relates to them. So it's very specific, but a lot of, for me personally, I was so tired of seeing influencers that would just be like, this is happening. Oh my gosh, we're going to die. And then it's like, okay, that I just watched 2 minutes and I don't even, what am I supposed to do about it? Like, what do I do? So it's very action oriented, and it really like takes people step by step into what they need to do.
Thanks, Caitlin, because the information which you given, not more all of them will be given, because when we see a couple of contents, they only look at the problems. They say, as you mentioned, hey, we have a problem. What should I do? But you mentioned 3 point. One thing is good work, so you are providing a good work, and second thing is the relatable one. If I share a video, if you are sharing a video, and then that relates to the other person as well, so that's where it is a secret sauce. And third one is the actionable stuff. I don't give a problem, so I don't say a problem. I'm just giving a solutions. Whatever the video that you are posting, whatever the whatever the content which you are posting, that should be an actionable item where user must follow. If it is a password, change the password. If it is authenticated, change the authenticator. If it is the authenticated name, how many authenticators are there? If it is the awareness program, what could be the awareness program? So you have given the 3 points: good work, relatable stuff, and then actionable items, Caitlin. And thanks for
Yep.
your input, Caitlin. So it's been like half an hour. You just gave a multiple inputs, and the final question was, how do you manage time for all these things? Because you are a founder and co-founder for a company. At the same time, you are a content creator as well. And how do you manage time for all both? And Maybe if you can say that, and our cyber warriors will take it forward as well, Caitlin.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not good at managing time, but I love what I do. I work really hard. I work kind of 12 hours a day, sometimes more. Like I think yesterday I sat at this desk for 15 hours and I went, cooked, brought my food to my desk and kept working. Um, I really love what I do. I don't see any sign of burnout because I love what I do. I'm working on managing my time and trying to outsource. I have tried to outsource some scripts to other companies or some editing to other companies, but I really just don't like how it turns out. And it's hard for me to find someone that can. I've even tried to train AI to like understand the way I, make my scripts. And even then I'm like, okay, I still need tweaking. So like at that end of the day, I'd actually rather just come up with it on the spot than, try to plan it all out. So it, it's hard. I wish I could duplicate myself and then, hire the exact same me, but I can't. Um, so I don't know. I'm working on it. How do you manage your time?
Myself, Caitlin, I actually mostly nighttime I'll take like 1 hour time. So what I do is like 1 hour I'll just keep. So every 1 hour, and then after having like 10 to 15 minutes, so 10 minutes for a social media. So like that, I just handle couple of times over here. But the input which you gave was a very nice input, Caitlin. You love what you do, because most people, they always look at, hey, I couldn't manage the time, I'm just sleeping and I'm just roaming here and there, I'm going to office, I couldn't able to manage the time. They'll be keep on saying such kind of information, such kind of problems. But the statement which you told, I love what I do. So the people have such kind of mindset, they don't feel tired. That's why even you mentioned, I don't feel tired, because even if you are hiring someone, sometimes you want to duplicate yourself. So you want to hire a person same like you. And sometimes even I felt that, because we do have such kind of some kind of creativity, and then the actions items, and then the time management in our end. But the same thing, if we have the same person, and of course we sometimes even I expert that, and I thought about that as well, Caitlin. But the point which you mentioned is, if you are loving your job, if you love your job, of course you never feel tired, you never feel anything like a time management or something like that. And of course it will become the passionate one. And when you have a passionate one, of course it will become the actionable item. When it becomes an actionable item, of course you'll be a content creator like Ms. Caitlin. Of course we'll be getting, and our cyber warriors will be learning a lot from you, Ms. Caitlin. And it's been like 35 minutes, Caitlin. So for we got lots of insights from you. So the first thing is, if you are creating a cybersecurity session, if it is a Netflix series or what could be that, and you have given some information about the cybersecurity program, and if you have a 24 hours time, and what could be the campaign that will be creating it, and some kind of the actionable items and the secret sauce behind your content and the time management. So you have given lots of insights, Miss Caitlin, and of course, thanks for your insights, Miss Kathleen. So now every warriors, and so far that we have 450K warriors, they have a student, they have a startup founders, they have like IT professionals, they do have a multiple designation. And now, sure, based on your insights, also they'll be having like they'll manage their time, and they'll be a new content creator as well. And thanks for your insight, Miss Kathleen, and thank you so much for your time, Kathleen.